I'm very excited to be doing an unboxing of this particular pair of boots. I've never tried this boot brand before, and this boot brand is not usually known for boots. So let's take a look. G'day, welcome back to my channel Bootlosophy. If we haven't met, my name is Tech and I am filming on Wajak country here in Perth, Gallop in Western Australia. So this box arrived, box of a pair of boots inside, plain unbranded cardboard box. Very plain and just ordinary, and in fact quite surprising because this is a boot brand that is not a boot brand. This pair of boots is from the Saddleback Leather company. I have reviewed their front pocket backpack, which you can go and take a look on my channel. I was quite impressed by that, and I have used it a couple of times, several times in fact, on my travels. But they're now making boots, so I wanted to take a look at their officer boot, all leather. So let's get into it. So let's unbox. This is a little craft knife made by my grandfather, handmade by my grandfather, so he was pretty good with his hands. So this is Saddleback Leather's officer boots. Opening up the carrier box, you've got pieces of paper, consignment note, and then the actual shoebox itself with Saddleback Leather Company logo on it. Fairly stock standard shoebox with a lift that lids right off. So let's lift it right off. Inside the box, proudly designed in Texas, unashamedly handmade in Italy. And you'll hear me talk about that. I will do a full review of these in a few weeks' time, maybe in a couple of months, once I've had a chance to wear them a little bit. So first things first, two pairs of laces, a dark brown and a cream-colored pair of laces, both cotton, quite rough cotton, in fact almost feels like rope. Interesting. A sample of the leather. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's Oxblood, full grain leather, and it's good that they give you a piece that you can try out. Two boot bags, not branded, tissue paper wrapping them up, and here they are. Oh, here's a third pair of laces. Interesting. Flat cotton waxed, woven laces. And as you can see, a little bit of chalk there, I think, from packing. As you can see, this is what they call their officer boot. The website tells you that this is based on the healthiest design ever created, i.e. a months and last. In fact, there's a lot of verbiage about how healthy this months and last is. We go into a lot of personal detail about how the brand owner's back was hurt for years until he tried a months and last. There's a hell of a lot of verbiage about why handmade in Italy is so good, the history of, almost the history of Italy. And there's a lot of verbiage about the materials used and the months and last, and how the Goodyear welt is probably the best and most waterproof welt, and they're better than 99.9% of other bootmakers. You have to take that website with a pinch of salt. You really do. Even when I reviewed the front pocket backpack, I just could not get through the reading of the website. It was just a Dickens novel times 2 before I even got to what the backpack was. And it's similar to these boots. Look, hats off to the marketing. But sometimes when there's that much verbiage about the marketing, you get a little bit suspicious, particularly if this is a $679 US pair of boots. And you kind of go, okay, let me look at the quality. Let's not talk about the history of Goodyear welt, the history of Italian bootmaking, the history of the months and last, and how it affects all ills. Let's talk about the quality of the boot. So back from that rant, as I was talking, I'm turning this over and thinking, this is a quality boot. This is a quality boot. The leather is full grain, thick, waxy leather from an Italian tannery. It doesn't say which, I don't think, unless I missed it through the 60 pages of description. A very nice hand to it. It's waxy. It has a nice temper to it, and there's a slight pull-up. The quality of the construction, the stitching, little box stitch for security, is superb. The brogue cap toe, the stitching on it is delicate, precise. If only the website focuses on quality, and we can all focus on the quality, because my first impression is this is a quality boot. Steel nickel hardware, and let's take this off. And I think if you look at the speed hooks, really nice milled speed hooks. They're not just a bent metal speed hooks. These look like they're fully pressed into the back too, so secure. I'm a bit in two minds about the shape of the toe cap. I do like the broguing. This is the first time I've seen such a wiggly toe cap, and I guess my eyes are just not used to it. I think it's pretty, but at the same time it goes, oh, what's that doing there? You can see the Munson last, straight up, and then orthopedic around the toe. I do like this leather. It's Oxblood. It's not sort of color 8, it's actually blood red, but in a dark sort of dried blood manner. Leather sole, some people won't like that. I love leather soles because I think they breathe. And here's another sign of quality. This is a Goodyear welt, so there's a stitch under there. And what they obviously do is they cut a flap on the welt, on the sole, peel it back, put on the edge stitching on the Goodyear welt edge stitching, and then push the leather over and cover it, so you don't see any exposed stitches. You do see the imprint, but you don't see the actual stitch. That is magnificent. It's an 8.5. I'm told they're true to size, and I'm a US 8.5 true to size. I normally wear size 8s in Iron Rangers. I wear size 8s in Parkhurst. I wear size 8s in almost every other boot that you can call. S for standard. That's a very European way of saying it's a D. It's standard or wide. Fatto a mano in Italia. I think that means an Italian made in Italy. Leather heel top lift with a rubber insert. And you can see there's the leather outsole, really thick, like that's well over 1/2 centimeter. And then you see the Goodyear welt on top of that. And then back here, apart from the Goodyear welt, the really thick midsole, you get 2 stacks of leather and a third one, which is, I guess, like a bridger, just to give it the right slope. And then you get the rubber heel with a leather insert there. It's nailed. The nails are perfectly finished. I do not feel any scratching at all. Perfectly finished. That's why I think if they do themselves a disservice by, writing so much about the founder and his history and the history of this and history of that. Focus on the quality, man, because this is quality. Let's take a look at the other one. Again, I'll just take the laces off and see what's inside. Look, that full grain leather is just gorgeous. It's leather lined. Get rid of the packing. It's leather lined. The tongue is not. The shaft is leather lined. And the vamp is leather lined. The tongue, I assume, is the same leather, and it looks like the same leather. Not very thick, although the leather itself, I'll measure it when I do the full review. I don't think it's enormously thick either. Italian, I would suggest this is bovine, full-grown bovine and not calf, because you can see wider grain fiber tendencies. Again, the finish on this is just brilliant. Look at that stitching. Look at the stitching on the welt. There's the end stitch there. Well, all stitches have to finish somewhere, right? It's not a problem. Hey, you know what? This is this Goodyear welted or stitched down? Oh no, it's a Goodyear welt. I thought that might have been the uppers leather stitched down, but it is the end of the welt, and they're skived so that, can you see that? One is skived under, one is skived over where they meet. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. A little pull loop. And look at the stitching on that back heel stay. Really thin, precise, wonderful. Yeah. $679 US. Your first impression might be, whoa, that's a Pacific Northwest boot. But that is European pricing for a good quality boot. English boots will be that price. All right, let's get them on feet. So let's try them on, see if they fit at an 8.5 standard fitting. Now, while I'm putting them on, I'll just give you a few more details. Like all Saddleback products, oh yeah, great fit. Like all Saddleback products, they come with a 100-year guarantee. I'm not sure that I can say anything other than that's a great marketing thing. I won't call it a gimmick. I'm sure they'll fulfill it. But in 100 years' time, will I be alive? Will the beneficiaries of my will know that these have a 100-year guarantee? Will they wear them? Will the owner be still alive? And will the guarantee be on it in 100 years? So, I mean, it's very nice, but honestly. All right. But it is good. It's good to have a 100-year guarantee after all, right? And the tongue, as you can see, is soft. I love the way that sort of creases when it goes in. I'm not one of these people that must have a flat tongue. So I do like the way they fit really well at 8.5. So true to size really works. And no, this is not the way I usually tie my bootlaces, but I'm doing it so I'm quick and not wasting your time. Full grain veg tanned leather with calfskin lining and fully veg tanned leather soles. They come with steel shanks, built on the Munson last. And if you haven't heard or read from their website, these are made in Italy, home of good leather. I guess what I should do is try and train the tongue so it's flatter, but I don't mind. I like the little creasing. These speed hooks are fabulous, and as my wife says, they're not going to catch on your tights like those flat ones would. I don't mind the laces, but they are a bit cheap. I think I might try and get proper cotton ones. These are slightly cotton nylon. Absolutely great fit in 8.5. Because they're new leather soles, they're slippery on carpet. Once they get grazed out in the great outdoors, they'll be fine. Well, I have to say, that arch support is 100%. The last, which is based on the Munson last, I don't believe it is a Munson last, is such that it's narrower in the waist and the heel. So in many ways, I think it might be a combination last or close to it. Like it feels as if the width is narrower in the waist particularly, as well as the heel, much like Parkhurst lasts. Little bit wider in the forefoot, but not as wide as the Parkhurst last. But the comfort, I think, comes in the straight edge on the toe side before it turns around your toes. You could call it almond-shaped Munson, because it's pointier than most Munson lasted boots I've worn. I like the detailing on the broke cap toe. I am still in two minds about that wavy cap toe. It just jars with me at the moment. But, you know, that's not to say it's not pretty. It's just not what I'm used to. Comfort is good underfoot. So that full veg tan leather insole, full veg tan leather outsole is good. Steel shank, cork filler. Quite a lot of flex in that leather outsole, so no heel slip. And once I tie my laces better, even less. I really like the fit. I really, really like the fit. So apart from being turned off by too much marketing speak speaks honestly. Brilliant. All right, let's get these out there in the real world for a couple of weeks and I'll bring you a full review. And in the meantime, let's close out. So there you go. I'm still admiring this in truth. There it is, the Saddleback Leather Company, bit of a mouthful, officer boot in Oxblood. You can also get this in black and in like a tan color, I think, light brown tan color. My wife made the comment that it was quite strange to have this sort of dark Oxblood with nickel hardware. It would have been better with brass or antique brass hardware. And I agree, but you can see the principle behind it is that it's an officer boot, and so things are meant to be shiny. I get that. The pluses is the absolutely exquisite control over the quality. Everything is really, really well put together, including the hardware. The laces, perhaps, I think could be better. I think these are sort of nylon-y, and I'd prefer nice cotton ones. The way the sole and the heel stacks put together is just absolutely really nice. The leather's pretty good. I don't know what the tannery is. I'll try and find out, but it is an Italian tannery. Nice hand to it, nice temper to it. And I think these will break in very nicely. I need to get this scuffed up so it's not slippery. I am impressed. I am really, really quite impressed. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm sorry, in a few weeks' time, maybe a couple of months, I will bring you a full review. Maybe not as long as a couple of months, we'll see. I will bring you a full review and I'll deep dive into it to tell you how it's made and so on. And I'm really looking forward to wearing this, probably to the office under a pair of chinos or something like that. So check my Instagram, these will appear. Okay, so there we are. I hope you like this video, and if you do, you know what to do. Click on like. If you're not subscribed, click on subscribe, yada yada. Keep coming to the Bootlosophy channel, and I'm back next week. Take care out there. See you soon.